So I'll call this meeting to order. It is 5:31. This meeting is being recorded, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. We now will have additions and changes to the agenda, and we do have some. Let's see. We have additions. Actually, Sarah, you might have to help me here. We've got. Hold on one second. I just have to close the door. I'm getting some background noise here. Hi, come on in. Come on in. Thanks. All right, so let's see. We've got add and delete items to the agenda. We're going to add the Route 4 speed limit as the first order of business, and then table the appointment of the Planning Commission and Zoning Administrator. Do I have that right?
Correct.
Okay, great.
So if someone wanted to second that motion.
Yep.
Oh, I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great, motion passes. So we've got those changes. All right, next we have administrative matters. Did you leave the minutes to sign, or the orders to sign, Sarah?
Yeah, I thought Jesse was going to put them on the table, but if they're not on the table, they would be in, they might be in Megan's mailbox.
Okay. All right. I'll sign those after, and then leave them for Seth or Megan to sign as well.
Okay.
And then,
can I just interrupt for just a second? I see that Ann Singizer is there. Maybe we could recruit her to just go out into Megan's mailbox and grab the orders, because they also have the minutes and some of the paperwork that you're going to talk about later on in the meeting.
That helps.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that would be great. Thank you, Ann.
No, not yet. We made two changes to the agenda. We are postponing. We're tabling the appointment of the Planning Commissioner and Zoning Administrator to another meeting, and we are moving the Route 4 speed limit to the first order under business. Those are the two changes. Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you want me to wait for Ann?
So you can entertain motions to approve the orders and payroll, and then just sign those when they're complete. But they were emailed to everybody, so you were able to review those ahead of time.
Megan or Seth, you guys can't see, but Megan and Seth are also in this meeting, and they're here.
All right.
They
so
can see you.
How about I'll make a motion that we approve the orders, the signing of the orders for 1/23/24 for $30,349.41, and the payroll for January 20th, 25 for $15,686.41. Both of those dates say 24 on the agenda, but they're both 25. Can I get a second for that?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the January 13th, 2025 meeting.
I'll second that.
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, Sarah, you can take back over. That's always just a lot of.
Yeah. All right, so now we've got some announcements. And let me start with An exciting announcement. So our Mendon Town Clerk, Jesse Bridge, was appointed to by the Secretary of State, Sarah Copeland-Hansis, to the Town Clerk Advisory Committee. The group will meet monthly to discuss and address the interests of Vermont's town clerks, who play an essential role in the functioning of Vermont's municipalities. So congratulations to Jesse.
Yep.
Absolutely.
The second one is that the Barstow PTO is hosting a paint and sip fundraiser at the Mountaintop Barn on February 2nd at 2 p.m. The PTO wanted to invite the Mendon community to attend. Registration is $45, and you can email, I'm going to say the email, but if you need it, I can write it down for you. The Barstow PTO at gmail.com to sign up. Let's see. Town meeting will be held at the VTRANS Building on Valley View on March 3rd, 2025 at 6 p.m. So everyone got that one? All right. The polls will be open on the 4th at the town office here from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. And I think that's all I have, Sarah, right? For the budget discussion is next, right? Or the other point is
the next is
later with the budget.
Yeah, the next is public comments, and I just want to make a
So
statement.
is Ethan Pippin there from our?
Yes.
Yes, Ethan is here.
Okay, so he was added as first order of business.
Oh, okay.
Are we putting public comment after that?
How would you like to handle it? We did move that it would be the first order of business.
Right, but business
So we
falls
can do-
after public comment. So we'll move public comment to after the business. That's fine.
Okay, so we'll do Ethan first, then we'll do public comment, and then we'll move on to business.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So great.
May I have the privilege of just introducing Ethan and why he's here?
Sure. So we'll move to go ahead and introduce the new topic. Fred's going to introduce Ethan.
So Ethan has been working with the town. He's from Rutland Regional Planning Commission. Two particular issues that was requested to be here tonight. One is the potential for the town installing 2 speed radar feedback devices. One to control westbound traffic and one to control eastbound traffic, specifically through the village district. I believe the select board has put into the proposed budget for next year the purchase of 2 radar speed feedback. What was the acronym for that? What should radar speed feedback devices. Yep. Put it in the budget, and should they be approved, there's a VTRANS approval process you have to go through. Ethan works with VTRANS all the time, so he's going to help us understand what the town would have to do for that application to install those 2 speed control devices. And secondly, as many of you know, for some time the town has been considering applying to the state to reduce the speed limit overall in the village district. It's currently 45, and again, with Ethan's help, we thought he could instruct the select board in what they have to, the process to go through to get the speed reduced, in addition to prepping for purchase of radar speed feedback devices. So
Great.
this is
Ethan.
Ethan Pepin.
Hey, thank you.
And the owl can see. I'm just making sure everyone can see.
Yeah, so I brought up sort of big map, because sort of one of the things in terms of requesting a speed feedback sign would be identifying a specific area and limits in which you're requesting the speed change. So I brought a map basically of the village area, which shows the current speeds, basically 45 miles an hour through the entire village area from the border of Rutland Town, and then shifting up to 50 once you get around the corner. And the process for how speed limits are set on state highways is, I brought some handouts too, so I'll leave them here if anyone's curious. Basically, you as a select board would request a speed limit change by writing a letter to Vermont VTRANS traffic operations engineer, which would include the description of the area, concerns, and then sort of the specific area in which the town is interested in seeing the speed limit changed and the specific speed limit that a town would like to see. And so that letter will go to the state traffic operations engineer. They will then perform speed studies, and then they will get back with a recommendation about whether they think a speed limit change is appropriate or not. And then that basically gets sent to the state transportation committee, the state traffic committee, sorry. And then the town is basically able to make their case there, and that 3-member committee will make a final ruling on what speed limits are changed. So the engineering
That's
study.
a quick question.
Yes.
Who's the 3-member committee?
The state traffic committee. So I believe it's the VTRANS commissioner, the DMV,
Secretary of the agency?
yeah, Secretary of Transportation, DMV coordinator, and 1/3 member. I can't remember, so I can get back to you on that specific number. But that's basically how the process works. So to start it off, basically what's needed is, A, confirming that you, the select board, are interested in making that request, and then B, identifying the area where you'd like to request the change, and then C, deciding on sort of what speed limit you'd like to request.
And what is the speed limit currently for the area that the committee, 45?
Yeah, so it's 45 basically once you get out of Rutland City. It's 35, it transitions to 45 up through Rutland Town, stays 45 right until you still get just past Sugar and Spice, you get around the bend, and then it transitions to sort of sparser, more highway section, and then it goes up to 50 miles an hour.
So the 2 important questions in terms of getting a reduction in the speed limit through the village district are, well, with the caveat they may not agree. But number 1, is there some advantage, and Ethan can address this further, is there some advantage in trying to work cooperatively with Rutland Town? And have the speed limit, instead of going to 45 when you exit the Home Depot mall, to have it remain 35 or whatever up through Town Line Road, and then transition into Mendon and whatever, and should there be a cooperative application between 2 select boards? And then the second thing is, since it's 45, should we, if our goal is to have it be 40, should the formal application be to be 35? And then see what the speed controls, what the speed study shows over whatever length of time the state does that. They're not going to agree to 35 all the way up to here, but maybe if the speed study shows 40 is perfectly appropriate, and there's 2 towns making a comprehensive submission that they would agree that it stays 40 all the way from Home Depot to Mendon Road.
So we have to make a petition, we have to petition with a specific number. Our ask has to include a specific number?
Yes.
Okay. And the advisory group has thought about this, and you're suggesting that 35, we should ask for 35 so that we get 40?
The advisory group thought, let's ask for 40, and Ethan said, why not ask for 35?
Why'd you think that, Ethan?
Well, just having been involved in Pittsburgh, it's always ultimately a negotiation process.
Okay.
Given the number of access points and businesses, you have lots of people exiting and entering the roadway. So, 35 may be appropriate speed based on the observed traffic speed currently. I can tell you that the 85 percentile speed, which is basically what the 85% and below traffic are traveling at, is probably quite a bit higher than that. So. Okay. I think it's worth making the ask, because I think that is a reasonable limit, especially in the village area where you have all these driveways and exit and entering points and cars that are slowing down to exit and enter the roadway. And I guess the second thing I would suggest is also the Rutland Town. I do think that it would be stronger to try to seek coordination with Rutland Town, because rather than having sort of 35 and then it goes up and then it goes down again, having a more consistent speed limit through the whole corridor, and then having sort of your cutoff point once the land use really drops off and gets a lot sparser, makes a lot of sense. So I think it's worth.
So our speed group is encouraging the select board to work with Ethan and RRPC to coordinate the application to VTRANS, and then decide if the select board wants to either have one of their members approach the town, or have a town administrator approach the town, or appoint somebody else to approach the town and see if the Rutland Town Select Board is interested in co-sponsoring, co-submitting an application for the entire roadway. And
We'll work that out.
And just to remind you, if you drive Route 4 from New York to New Hampshire, we are the only town that is 45 miles an hour along an entire lane,
Woodstock.
4-lane, but in the 2-lane portion of Route 4 all the way from New York, New Hampshire, we're the only town at 45. Everybody else is 40 or lower.
Okay.
So we think from the accident history, and we think from the business aspect, the number of access points, the amount of traffic, that 40 is a very achievable goal, and maybe start with 35 and see what they say and decide about working cooperatively with the town.
So I'm just going to turn to Megan and Seth and see first, were you able to catch all of that?
Yes.
Yes.
And then do you have things you want to say?
Well, I would like to reach out to the chair of the Rutland Town Select Board about this, just because we were all at a meeting last week and talking about sharing information and just working together. So I think it would be fitting for me to do that outreach.
My thoughts exactly.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Hi.
Hi. We'll go with that.
Megan's got the job. So I don't know, do we want to have any more conversation in the room about it? Were there other questions, or were there other questions, Seth and Megan, that you had first?
No, I think it's pretty cut and dry, and we can, and if I'm going to take the lead on this, I can reach out if I have more questions.
Okay. Okay. Fred and then Brian.
Sorry.
So we just worried about the speed in the village, or we worried about where fatality accidents have been happening up above Route 4? Because sounds like we can't do anything about that.
I think you're right.
So what are we wasting money? If we put the speed limit at 40, everyone's gonna go 45 anyway. If we put it at 35, everyone's gonna go 45 anyway. What's the point? We should be trying to save people's lives up above here. I mean, to be honest with you, I try to go as fast as you can through Mendon because it's so dumpy looking.
Got it. Did you have?
Yeah, so in talking with law enforcement and in talking with VTRANS people, our group has concluded we can't police our way out of this. We can't ticket enough people to do it. But number two, that the radar speed feedback devices clearly work to change behaviors, especially if they're permanently mounted, as opposed to the ones that are mobile. And if they're permanently mounted, they do change behaviors. It's pretty well established in federal DOT data and whatnot. And thirdly, that the merchants, specifically along our stretch of Route 4, feel that anything they can do to reduce speed is going to make it safer, not just in fatalities, but in rare bumpers and blah, blah, entering their businesses for their employees and for traffic.
I haven't heard of any accidents from here down to Home Depot, really. They're all from Sugar and Spice above.
Yeah, the big ones are higher off, but the state has also been very clear that they have no interest in reducing the speed limit further off east of the village district. They're not going to do that.
So what will the speed limit help us with in the village?
Well, we help our merchants, making it easier to get in and out of their businesses, and maybe encourage more commercial development over time. If we can establish one with village center feel. And secondly, there are fender benders and stuff, they just don't make the newspaper. You know, and we haven't had a fatality in the village district, you're right, for several years. But
We've had plenty of people about there, we don't seem to want to do anything about
Can we just let it be known? Can I interrupt here for a second? I'm sorry, but can we just let it be known here that we've been working on this for 2 years, Brian? So we're just we're working on the speed limit everywhere. Okay.
Okay.
So it's a work in progress.
Work in progress.
Okay.
Could I add?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to add that, you know, first of all, there are actually a lot of crashes that occur from Rutland City Town out to the Village Center. I encourage everyone to take a look. There's a tool called the VTRANS Public Crash Query Builder.
Can you say that one more time?
VTRANS Public Crash Query Builder.
That's a mouthful.
It's a bit of I didn't come up with the name. You can basically pick any section of roadway, any town, and any date range and search, you know, property damage accidents, injury accidents, fatal accidents, and it will give you information about all the data that's there. So I'd encourage, you know, folks to take a look at that and see that, you know, there really are issues all across the border. And the second point I'd make is that we had worked with the town for a study to look at the entire corridor that made a number of recommendations about, you know, pavement markings, lane width, climbing lanes, try to address conditions corridor-wide. Given that it's a state highway, you know, none of that would really be able to be done until the state comes to repave, because it would be pretty expensive to change all the markings. But once the state is ripping up all the asphalt and putting down new pavement, there's opportunities to make changes there. So, you know, I do want to point out that there are plans in the works, but that, you know, they really rely on the state's paving schedule for the corridor to be able to implement it in a cost-effective manner.
Great. All right. I think we're good. We've got Megan doing the next follow-up for that piece. Next item on the agenda is, yes, thank you, Ethan, very much for your work.
Yeah,
Thank you, Ethan.
Oh,
Just information
Yeah.
about how the speed limits are set.
Can the map stay here, or is that?
Yep.
so the map's going to stay here. Folks can look at it. I'll keep one of these and you can separate these out. Would you also be able to email that to Sarah Tully so that Megan and Seth can get a copy of this?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Ethan.
Thanks, Ethan. All right. Next one is public comment. I think, Megan, you wanted to say something before we start public comment.
Yes, I reviewed the policy on procedures for our select board meetings, and it is nowhere in the policy does it say that if you are interrupted, your time starts over. So we do not make it a habit of interrupting people, but if we are answering a question that is asked of us, we will reply. So that does not permit for the time to start over for the 2 minutes.
All right. So we're good. I'll call for public comment. We'll go online first, and then we'll go into the room because there's more people here in the room. Is there anyone online who would like to speak?
I don't see
All right,
anyone.
I don't see anyone. We'll come back at the end if anyone does in the room. Yes. Go ahead and say your name first, and then I believe how many minutes, Megan?
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yes.
My name is Debbie Singizer, and I am the chair of the Barstow Unified Union School District Board. And I'm here in that capacity tonight to draw your attention to the annual reports that you should have received by now in the mail from the district, the 2025 annual report. And also to ask you to mark your calendars for the annual district meeting, which will take place on Tuesday, February 25th. And all this information is in the report. At the school at 6:30 p.m., which is an opportunity for voters to come ask questions about the budget and the implications for taxes and how the board believes that it supports the strategic priorities and values of the district. We are aggressively out in our communities for the next 5 weeks. There will always be a board member at the Chittenden Public Library when it's open. Our superintendent's coming to Sugar and Spice to do another coffee with the superintendent in late February. Mendon doesn't have as many opportunities for public forums than Chittenden. But if you are aware of ones that we haven't identified on our communication plan, we'd like you to make us aware of those so we can attend meetings, because we'd like to be able to answer people's questions.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. So February 25th, 6:30 p.m.
At the school,
at the school, and you're at the Chittenden Public Library
Mondays and Wednesdays.
Mondays and
Saturdays.
Wednesdays and Saturdays.
And
Thank you,
Sarah, do you
Sarah.
mind if I follow up? Do you mind if I follow up with Debbie on that?
Yes.
She could just let us know when those dates are for Sugar and Spice. We will make sure that they're posted on our Facebook page and our website for all to see. So if the public is looking for information about when to be able to speak to a board member or the superintendent, that we'll have that messaging available on our websites as well.
Oh, great, on the town website, Sarah?
Yeah, so if you just want to send those dates to Jessie Bridge, the town clerk, we'll make sure it's on our social media and our website as well.
Perfect, very good. Thank you. Appreciate the support.
All right, go ahead, Brian.
So I noticed that, are we hiring a new zoning administrator?
Not today, no.
But have we?
No.
Is there a job opportunity? I don't see it posted on the website at all. Is there an opportunity open? That's what I'm asking. Is the opportunity going to be available, or have we already hired?
So
I don't see
Sarah,
the opportunity on the.
we currently have not
webpage
received
at
a
all.
letter of resignation.
We have not received a letter of resignation. That's what I just found out. That's why it's not on the,
Then how come we already have a business card with a new zoning administrator on it? Right up here. There's a card with a gentleman's name on it already. Like
Right,
we've already
we haven't-
hired someone.
right,
Doesn't
currently-
sound right.
Currently, we have an interim zoning administrator appointed to cover a medical leave.
yes.
Correct, but it doesn't say intern, it says he's the new select board, he's the new zoning administrator. Is there an opportunity available? Are we gonna post it?
We
So the
don't,
public's open to look, to apply for that position is what I'm asking.
got it.
Because tonight it didn't look like we were gonna do that, it looked like we were gonna appoint somebody without that. That wouldn't be right.
Got it.
Are we gonna, I'm asking,
No, I know, and I don't know the answer, so we'll have to get back to you.
so there's,
It's not on the agenda, so I don't have any
it
of the
was on the
information.
agenda.
I know, and it's off now.
Interesting.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah, no. Not right. That's a conflict of interest, what we're planning on doing. It's right there, I just gave you that, you could read that if you like.
Yep.
Where it says you're not supposed to hire your family or friends for personal gain with your power,
Got it.
that's conflict of interest. It's not right for the town, not right for our community.
So,
We're
Brian,
good.
your 2 minutes are up for this comment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever, that was all done anyway.
Are there other public comments? All right. Okay, so we're good. We're going to move to the business part of our agenda. The first is CAI Map Maintenance Contract. Do I have that right? Oh, go ahead, Sarah.
So this is just a routine contract that we contract with CAI to do our map maintenance. So this is an annual contract. They actually update the maps every 2 years, but they keep track of all of our PTRs and transitions of properties and update those maps accordingly. So this is their maintenance contract. No changes.
Is there action that we are to take?
You're just motion to enter into contract, and then the select board can sign the contract when they can come to the office.
Okay, so it sounds like we need a motion to enter into the contract. Does Seth or Megan, do one of you want to move for that and the other second?
I'll second it. Or do you want?
I'll move that we go ahead and we go into a contract with, with the
CAI.
CAI
Okay,
contractor. I move that we go under contract with them.
okay. And I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. The next is the 2025-2020. Oh, Sarah, is there something here that that I have to sign in this packet? I think I see something for,
It may only require the chair.
yeah, I think it's just the chair.
It may only require the chair. So Megan can sign that when she comes back into town.
Okay, thanks. All right, 2025-2026 budget discussion.
So I didn't know if there was going to be any last minute changes to the budget that we adopted at the last meeting. There are not. So we have, the select board has adopted a budget with a 2.99% increase, under 3%, which it is a good feat. So congratulations.
Yeah.
Well, thanks
Good
for
job.
all your work.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sarah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, so no action on that one?
No
We already
action.
passed it. Okay,
Correct.
great. And the next is the 2025 town meeting warning. I do see that. Would you?
I'll just explain the articles that are included on the warning. So the first article is the amount to set the budget. Could you just read that amount right there? Because I don't have it in front of me.
Sure. Shall the town vote to appropriate for the 2025-2026 municipal budget $1,419,841?
Correct. So that is representative of the 3%, 2.99% increase in the budget. And then the remaining articles are the appropriation articles that were received by petition to the town clerk in the statutory requirements. So I believe we have 4 additional articles on that. And then we will be voting by Australian ballot to elect our officers. The following day, the polls will be open from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the town office for vote by Australian ballot.
Got it. And the 4, just so that Megan and Seth, it's for $1,200 for the Marble Valley Regional Transit District. That's the bus. $700 for RSVP Retired Senior Volunteer Program. $2,600 for VNA and Hospice of Southwest Region. And $2,500 to support Wonder Feet Kids Museum. So those were the other 4.
Where is the library on that list?
The library is not treated as an appropriation that requires a petition. That is included in our budget.
Okay, thanks.
The other organizations that are treated that same way is the Mendon Historical Society and the funding of the Barstow Youth Club.
Okay.
Those 3 organizations are not, they didn't require the petition. We put them in the budget.
Great. Do you need us to move to approve?
Motion to approve the warning and motion to approve and post the warning.
Great. So I'll move to approve and post the warning as described and written here.
I'll
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. The motion passes and be warned.
Right.
All right. Okay. The last item is, where did my agenda go? Oh, the 2025 goals and objectives review and update.
So I just wanted to, this is a moving target until we get through town meeting and we have the projects laid out for the following year, which will become the 25, 26 goals and objectives. But, just an update on what we're working on now and what have moved to the top of the priority list is transportation and highway grant funding. There are multiple applications that are due between now and March that I am working on with the highway department, as well as preparing for the construction projects for this summer. there is a proposed grant application to replace individual dry hydrants of 3 different dry hydrants, Woodard Road, Journey's End, and Pond Road, to upgrade our fire capacity in those areas of town. And we have identified a number of policies and ordinances that we'll be working on between now and March, so that when we have our annual meeting, we will be able to update most of the policies and ordinances if needed.
I'll just add to that. I've been looking at the dog ordinance, dog and wolf hybrid ordinance, and updating it, and sent a draft to Sarah. I don't think it's been updated. Megan had noted last meeting since 1995.
Yeah.
So taking a crack at that, and then I'm going to work with Rod. Yeah, the dog and wolf hybrid ordinance. So more to come on that. I think once we've reviewed it a little bit more, and we'll bring it to the select board when we think there's something you guys can discuss.
Okay. We have already increased the prices though to that the state required us to do.
For licensing.
For licensing, yeah.
Yeah. I believe we have, right, Sarah?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We didn't, looking at it, you can not necessarily put it into the ordinance so that the fees can just be updated whenever they get updated.
Right, and that is the goal, because they were specifically specified in our last ordinance. So,
Yeah.
Again, the new licenses go into effect on April 1st, but people do start to get their licenses prior to that date. So,
And we were advised by VLCT at the county select board meeting, not that we do not have to pay the money to have it put in the Rutland Herald. That we posted on our Facebook page and put it in, in our office and in our public posting places, that we do not need to take out that $200 ad in the Rutland Herald.
Great.
And I
Saving
advised
money left and
Jesse of
right.
that. Yeah, I've already told Jesse that.
Great. I think that brings us to the end of the agenda. And so, unless there's anything else, take a motion to adjourn. Oh, Sarah?
no, I was just going to remind Seth and Megan, when they have a chance to stop by the office to sign that paperwork, it'll be in Megan's drawer, that file of orders, correct?